We are told every day that stress is toxic, that it's a killer, that the inevitable result of a high-pressure life is burnout. Why do some people collapse under pressure, while others rise to it? We assume it's personality or strength, but the research tells a different story. One of habits that we can learn. The question that I'm going to explore today is quite simple and very prominent in schools around the United States. And it is, what psychological habits separate those who thrive under stress and those who burn out from it? My research reveals this. It's not the stress itself that decides your outcome, it's how you respond to it. The thesis is simple. The difference between burnout and thriving lies in two teachable habits: reframing stress as a challenge and maintaining an internal locus of control. In the next 6 minutes, you'll see what psychologists discovered, how real people use it, and why mastering these habits might not only change your performance, but your health as well. Psychologist Christina Maslach first defined burnout in 1981. She described it not as being overworked, but as a psychological response made up of 3 parts. First, emotional exhaustion. Second, cynicism. And third, a reduced sense of accomplishment. Notice something important here. None of these are about how much work someone has. Burnout is not just a heavy workload. It's how we interpret and respond to that workload. Emotional exhaustion is feeling drained not from doing tasks, but from the constant emotional effort of them. Cynicism shows up when we start detaching and questioning the value of what we do. And a reduced sense of accomplishment is when our efforts feel meaningless, even if we're technically successful. In 1982, Suzanne Kobasa studied executives who thrived under high-pressure conditions. She found that these individuals didn't escape stress. They approached it differently. She called their resilience hardiness, built on 3 practices. First, commitment. Second, control, and challenge is the third. Think about it. When was the last time you didn't want easier tasks? You just wanted to feel capable of handling them. Hardiness isn't about avoiding stress. It's about approaching it with curiosity and purpose. Parks built on these ideas in 1984, demonstrating that people with an internal locus of control actively shape their outcomes. They don't just hope things will get better, they plan, act, and problem solve. Instead of escape or avoidance, they use what psychologists call problem-focused coping. Stress is not something to run from. It's a puzzle to solve. Now, picture 2 students facing the same overwhelming workload. One thinks, I can't do this, and freezes. The other thinks, I can make a plan, prioritize, and tackle this step by step, and actually begins. The difference isn't in skill or knowledge, it's in their mindsets. That simple shift changes everything. Now, fast forward to 2013. Crum, Solovey, and Aker showed that teaching participants to see stress as enhancing rather than harmful literally changed their bodies. Cortisol, the stress hormone, was lower. Their focus and performance was improved. The key takeaway? Stress itself isn't the enemy. Helplessness is. This reframes everything we've been told about stress. It's not the workload or the pressure that breaks us. It's feeling powerless over it. Once we see challenges as opportunities and recognize our capacity to influence outcomes, stress becomes a tool for growth, not a threat.
Usually when I'm stressed, the first thing I'll want to do is take a nap, because I'm never gonna sacrifice my sleep to get work done. It just obviously matters, but it doesn't matter that much to me. And once I take a nap, I feel so much better. I'm able to get stuff done. I think mostly it would be avoidance, because one of the biggest issues is people just not doing things, and when they get stressed, it just makes them not want to do it all the more. I think I have gotten better over time. I don't know, because for one, I've probably gotten more in more stressful situations over the years, but also from previous experience, I know that I can handle it, and no matter what it is, it's going to be fine. So you just gotta keep that mentality, and if you think it's fine, it's gonna be fine. I don't know. I don't like feeling stressed, so I'm gonna do whatever I can to not feel stressed. I don't personally think I work well under stress, so In the spring of either last year or the year before that, I don't really remember. Alyssa was like, oh my gosh, you should do the lifeguard test with me. And I was like, okay, sure, I could be a lifeguard. Like, I know how to swim. And so they had me do all the laps. Like, okay, I did the laps. And I was kind of tired, but I was like, okay, am I done? And they're like, no, you're not done. And they threw a brick into the deep end of the pool. And then I had to go swim and get it with no goggles. And I couldn't see the brick, obviously. And then I had to carry it, but like, I couldn't use my hands. Anyway, this brick drowned me. Anyway, so I couldn't carry the brick. They gave me like 3 tries. I just couldn't carry this brick. I was getting more and more frustrated. And so what I've learned from that, I guess, is so not everything's gonna be for you, I guess, and that doesn't mean it's not worth a try. And I don't know.
I see a lot of people resorting to tactics that they normally wouldn't do because of the pressure. So let's just say maybe they're going to attempt academic dishonesty, or I think that they're willing to do that because of the stress levels that they are under. And it really depends on the student. I think that some students are going to do well in a pressure cooker type of a situation, but there are other kids who are going to crack and really struggle with all the things that come with that. This is really tough right now because kids are so driven by the pressure to have A's that it's almost difficult for them to fail in a healthy environment. Like, I really believe kids, the only way you're really going to learn is to fail a little bit, to make a mistake, or to get a B. Oh my gosh, get a B. Like, well, I think it's important for kids to find an outlet, something that they can, an activity, whether it's being able to go to the beach or go for a walk or go for a run or go to the gym and lift weights or cook a favorite food or take a bubble bath or do your nails, whatever it is that like allows you some time to basically care for yourself. Just I think it may vary. And the reason I say that is it varies based on I don't want to group kids, but some of this depends on a student's maturity level, their intelligence level, and their trajectory. I think they handle those things differently than a student who may struggle academically. Take a break, get a drink, go for a walk. Just take a minute to, and also be a good listener. I think sometimes instead of trying to solve, because you can't, like, I can't solve their problems. They have to solve their own problems. But I think just listening to them and not trying my best not to react.
A 2016 study done by Freer found a coping profile that predicts burnout, students who rely on emotional avoidance, distractive, and negative self-talk. What's powerful is that these profiles aren't permanent. When students are trained in reframing stress and building control, their cortisol levels drop and their motivation increases. Research shows that mindset isn't a cure-all. Studies confirm that even students with strong coping skills or a growth mindset can burn out when demands are too high. A 2023 study of medical students found that unsupportive school environments and heavy workloads strongly predicted burnout regardless of personal resilience. Similarly, poor sleep quality and chronic stress make burnout more likely even for students who practice healthy coping habits. Mindset and coping strategies like reappraisal or exercise do help buffer stress, but evidence makes it clear sometimes the stressors are just too big to manage alone. In February of my sophomore year, I completely burned out. I was trying to be the perfect, high-achieving student and a competitive swimmer, and I just broke. I couldn't sleep, I cried all the time, and I finally had to start therapy because I couldn't handle the stress of my life anymore. And now I know it just wasn't being overwhelmed. It was exactly what Moslock described as real burnout. Back then, I was trapped in the Freire avoidance pattern, shutting down, procrastinating, pretending I was fine. But Crumb's research showed me that stress itself wasn't the problem. My mindset was. And Parks proved that feeling in control is what separates people who thrive from people who burn out. What I've learned since then is simple. Stress won't disappear, but the way we respond to it can change everything.